All right, let's dive into something that could genuinely change the way you think about your career, your money, and your life. We're going to unpack the huge ideas from Grant Sabatier's book, Financial Freedom, which basically flips the whole idea of retirement on its head. We're going to explore how you might be able to achieve financial independence way, way earlier than you think, all by focusing on the one thing you can never, ever get back, your time.
So let's just start with a question that honestly, you've probably never asked yourself. You think you're solving a money problem, don't you? I need more money. But what if that's not the real issue? What if the thing that's actually keeping you stuck is a time problem? This one little shift is the key to everything we're about to talk about.
And that brings us to our first major idea. See, the biggest mistake most of us make is thinking the solution is just to earn more money. But Sabatier argues that completely misses the point. The real goal isn't just to have a bigger number in your bank account, it's to buy back more of your life.
Think about it this way. It really simplifies everything. Every single financial decision you make is a trade. That's it. You're either at a job, trading your time for money, or you're using your money to buy back your time. That's what freedom is. That fancy car, that bigger house, every one of those things is you selling off pieces of your future time for something you want right now.
And we make these trades based on a playbook that's totally outdated. We're told go to school, get a good job, and then just grind it out until you're 60, maybe 65. But who made that rule? Seriously, does that plan still make any sense for our lives today? Just following that one assumption without ever questioning it could cost you 40 years of your life.
But this story shows there is another way. I mean, look at this. At 24 years old, Grant Sabatier had $2.26 to his name. Just 5 years later, by the time he was 30, he was a millionaire and financially free. Now, that wasn't luck. He did one simple thing that most of us never do. He figured out the exact amount of money he needed to be free, and then he reverse-engineered his entire life to hit that target as fast as possible.
So how on earth did he do it? Well, it all starts with the solution. Financial freedom isn't some vague, fuzzy dream. Nope, it's a number. It's a concrete mathematical target you can actually calculate and then aim for.
And that target is called your freedom number. And look, this isn't about being fabulously wealthy with a private jet. It's simply the exact amount of money you need invested so that the returns from those investments can cover your living expenses forever. It's the finish line. It's the point where working for a paycheck becomes a choice, not a necessity.
And here's the formula to find it. It's almost deceptively simple, but trust me, this is incredibly powerful. You just take the amount of money you need to live for 1 year, and you multiply it by 25. That's it. That's your number.
Okay, let's make this real. Let's say you figure out that all your expenses for a year come out to about 10 lakhs. Well, you plug that into the formula, and boom, your freedom number is 2.5 crores. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds like a massive number. But don't get hung up on that. The point isn't to be intimidated, it's to have a clear destination for the very first time. Because once you have a number, you can build a system to get there. So once you've got that number, how do you actually reach it? Well, it's not about some magic trick. It's about strategically pulling 4 specific levers. Think of it as a system that you control to speed up your journey to freedom.
These are the 4 variables in the whole freedom equation. First, you've got to maximize what you earn. Second, you optimize how much of that you actually keep. Third, you invest those savings so your money starts working for you. And finally, the big one, you leverage the most powerful force in the universe, time. And doing this requires a total change in how you think.
It really is a complete mindset shift. The old way is to just depend on that one job. The freedom rule? You build multiple streams of income. The old way is to spend your money first and then save whatever's left over at the end of the month. The new way? You save first, automatically, and then you spend what's left. And you can forget about trying to gamble on hot stocks. The real path is boring, systematic investing in low-cost index funds.
But here is the biggest enemy of this entire system. It's this thing called lifestyle inflation. You know what I'm talking about. You get a raise, so you immediately get a bigger apartment. You get a promotion, you buy a fancier car. Your spending always seems to rise to meet your income. And you just end up running faster and faster on what they call the hedonic treadmill, getting absolutely nowhere. This is exactly why just earning more is never the whole solution.
And this right here, this visualizes the most powerful lever you have, time. Just look at this example. We've got Raj, who starts investing $10,000 a month at age 25. Then there's Arjun. He waits until he's 35, but to make up for it, he invests double the amount, $20,000 a month. Who do you think ends up with more? It's Raj, by a long shot. Why? Because his money had a whole extra decade to compound. It's proof that when you start is so much more important than how much you start with.
Now, if the math is this straightforward, you've got to be asking, why doesn't everybody do this? And that's a great question. It's because financial freedom is less of a math problem and much more of a psychological game. The formulas are the easy part. Controlling your own behavior is hard.
And here are the main culprits, the mental traps you're going to face. Our brains are literally hardwired for instant gratification. We want things now. We feel this immense social pressure to keep up with everyone around us. We're driven by FOMO, the fear of missing out on the next big thing. And maybe the most powerful one, we tie our entire sense of identity and self-worth to our job titles and what we own, which makes it incredibly hard to ever walk away.
And look, when you start on a journey like this, people will judge you. They'll ask why you're saving so much or why you're not buying a new car. But you have to remember this powerful insight. They're not really judging you. They're justifying their own choices. Seeing you succeed on a different path kind of forces them to question their own, and that's uncomfortable.
And this all leads to the final and maybe the most crucial way to reframe this whole thing. It's not about what you're giving up, it's about what you are buying.
When Grant Sabatier looked back on that intense 5-year sprint to freedom, he realized it wasn't a sacrifice at all. It was an investment. He traded 5 years of really focused, disciplined work for the freedom to control the next 50 years of his life. So the question becomes, are you willing to live a little differently for a few years so you can live exactly how you want for the rest of your life?
So what can you do right now, like today? Here are 3 simple, totally actionable steps. First, sit down and actually calculate your freedom number. Give that big dream a real target. Second, start tracking your spending. You need to know where your money is actually going, not just where you think it's going. And third, just make one small change. Create a plan to increase your savings rate by just 1%. That's it. Don't try to be perfect. Just try to be consistent.
And we'll end on the single most powerful idea from the entire book, which really sums this whole philosophy up. You can always find ways to make more money. In the grand scheme of things, it's an unlimited resource, but you can never, ever get back lost time. Financial freedom was never a race to get rich. It's an equation to buy back your life. The only question left is, when are you going to start solving it?